Claire here. Just like Wise Dakota once told us, sometimes people get cut. And sometimes podcasts do too. We had so much fun talking about today's film, I Know Who Killed Me, with our special guest that we just couldn't contain it into one episode. So, you have today part 1, where we go into a full deep dive of the film's plot. Next Saturday, we'll be releasing the second half of the episode, where we explore the director, writer, stars, as well as production issues, inspirations, and more. For a film about two girls that felt like one whole, what better than two-part podcast? Enjoy!
People get cut. It's life. And welcome back to W Rated, the podcast where we watch the world's worst rated movies, with today's episode taking us into our third film on IMDb's Bottom 100. I am your host Daisy, and as ever I have the pleasure of being joined by podcast co-creator and my co-host Claire. Claire, how is it going over at your end?
Hello, I am good. I'm very, very excited for this episode. I'll talk about that later.
So today we are super excited to welcome our very first guest on the pod, a walking encyclopedia of film, and the only reason my film quiz team gets any real points, it's our friend Andrew Pope. Hi Andrew.
Hello.
How are you going today?
I'm really well, and I can't complain given the situation. We're all in lockdown wise, but it feels like every podcast starts with everyone talking about how it's lockdown at the moment, so I won't say any more about that.
No more lockdown. So, Andrew, you shared with us a few films off of the list of the Bottom 100 that you were interested in coming on the pod to talk about, with today's subject matter being one of them. So I thought it would be great if you could do the honours of telling us what the film is and why you chose to talk about it.
The Lindsay Lohan starring 2007's I Know Who Killed Me.
Yay! What made you choose it?
Well, the story is this. I was simply in a DVD emporium one day, browsing the aisles, and if I'd known this film existed, I'd completely scrubbed it from my memory, and I saw the spine with I Know Who Killed Me written on it, and I immediately thought, that's a great title.
Yeah,
because that is a great title right there. So I pulled it out, and I didn't even know what era it was going to be from. And who did I see on the front cover? But Lindsay Lohan as a stripper. Yeah, this
the most fully clothed stripper I've ever seen.
the most for well, we'll get to how good a stripper she is or is not.
Oh dear.
On the front cover. Leaning up against her stripper pole, even though in general, I think I'm pretty plugged into what movies are around and what's coming out, I had somehow not been aware of this. So when I came across it, and it was probably like, discounted to £5 or something of that nature, because it kind of fell into that bargain bucket territory. It came as a complete surprise. Like out the blue, this miracle of
out of the blue.
Out of the blue, and again, we'll come back to the color blue. I saw like Lindsay Lohan as a stripper, and it's got this amazing title, I Know Who Killed Me, which immediately makes me think of like almost 1950s movies where they used to say, I've got the title and I've got the poster.
Yeah.
Now we just need a film.
Yeah.
It had that vibe. Like you can imagine someone putting down a picture in like a producer's meeting room of Lindsay Lohan as a stripper and the title I Know Who Killed Me, and then being like, yeah, sold.
Greenlit.
Sold. Let's make this movie. We just need to write a script. I'm looking at this DVD and I'm thinking, all right, so she's been hit with a slow acting poison or something similar, and she's gonna spend the movie tracking down like who's killed her or something like that. So I thought that sounds, this sounds like a great time.
Sounds like a better film.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to watch that film. I'm going to write this down.
Fun. I can't wait to see this movie. And then for whatever reason, I put it back on the shelf and didn't purchase it.
I just can imagine you. I can't wait to see this. Puts on the shelf, walks away.
This movie at some point in the future.
I do that on Netflix every day. Like, add to list, watch sometime.
Listen, I've got 1,000 films on my Letterboxd list.
Nice.
And it's, I've got to start either watching stuff or just admitting to myself I'm never going to see it.
Well, listen, I'm glad that we were able to then bring this back into the just zone of.
I've had it in the back of my mind for like a decade. And so when you said, would you like to watch any of these supposedly quite shit films? I looked down the list. I was like, I know who killed me. Yes, please. Finally, I'll have an excuse to watch it. And here we are.
Amazing. Now, Claire, I hadn't actually ever heard of this film before, so I love, Andrew, that you had that connection. That was a really cool story, and I'm glad that we were able to bring that
full circle.
Yeah, exactly. But Claire, you have got a bit of a history with this film, haven't you?
I don't have that big a history. So I am a huge Lindsay Lohan fan. Apologies to all my Twitter followers who spent January on a journey with me. It wasn't intentional. I needed to watch this film for this podcast, and I just decided to watch every single Lindsay Lohan film I could find because it's been a while, and she used to be my favourite actress. I was a 15-year-old redhead, and there was like a teenage redhead actress taking the world by storm. Of course I was going to be all over that. So she was like a big thing for me growing up. This film, one of the reasons, Andrew, you probably missed it, was because it never got a cinematic release in the UK, which we will talk about later. So I have a distinct memory of watching it in either 2008 or 2009. I don't know if I had bought the DVD then or if I got it from Love Film, but I remember watching it in my second year uni house, which was between 2008 and 2009. I now own the DVD. I've watched this film at least 4 times now. But like, I was at one point a Lindsay Lohan completist. I wanted to watch every single film she had done. I believe I'm missing, so there's 2 that I think I've watched, but if you ask me to tell you what happened in them, I do not know. So I don't know if I even finished them all the way to the end. The Canyons being one of them, the infamous Canyons, if you know anything about Lohan.
I have seen the Canyons.
I definitely know I've seen some of it, but I'm like, did I watch all of it? Did I give up? No, I'm going to have to eventually rewatch that.
I was going to say, you definitely have to revisit
to kind of calibrate expectations when it comes to Lindsay Lohan. The Canyons, I've seen now 5 Lindsay Lohan movies. Mm-hmm. The Canyons is definitely the worst.
No, you have not seen 2019/2020 because it depends on what you look at. Film Among the Shadows, which I watched a couple of weeks ago. She films the whole film clearly on a green screen, clearly not in the same room as any of the other actors. You can see the glow of green around her, but you can also tell she is not in the room with any of the people she's interacting with. And there are multiple pots in the film where she's in the same costume with the same hairstyle, and I'm like, this is not meant to be a different day. So let me tell you, that is 100% the worst.
Okay, all right.
Daisy, you've not seen this before, had you?
No, I hadn't seen it before. I've never heard of it before either. I used to like Lindsay Lohan when I was a teenager, but I'd mainly just seen her main ones, which we'll probably touch on a bit in when we talk about our favourite Lindsay Lohan films. So, yeah, I had never heard of this before, so I was really surprised that you had the DVD. And then Andrew said he wanted to talk about it. I was like, what am I missing out on here? And then we showed me the DVD cover, and I was just like, I'm really upset that I have not heard of this before. So I was extremely excited to watch it.
Daisy, when you saw the cover and the title, what did you imagine the film might be?
I definitely thought it was going to be more of a straightforward thriller, than what it was. For those who haven't seen the film, as Andrew mentioned, it's a 2007 American psychological thriller. It was directed by Chris Severston, written by Jeff Hammond, and it stars our wonderful Lindsay Lohan, Julia Ormond, Neil McDonough, and Brian Geraghty. So the film story revolves around a young woman who is abducted and tortured by a sadistic serial killer. After surviving the abduction, she insists that her identity is that of another woman. So just briefly to bring it back to the ranking, this is actually ranking number 77 on the bottom 100. So again, I think we're being quite nice to ourselves. It's got a 3.6 out of 10. So let's just go ahead now and dive straight into what we thought about the film. Obviously, as always, we are going heavy into spoilers here. So if you do want to watch the film before you hear all the details, please go away and do that now. Andrew, give us a little bit of an idea of what your first impression was, because I know that Clare has watched it before, and Claire's going to take us into a bit more detail about the plot. But I'm just really keen to see, after your story, what your first impression was watching this.
My first impression came on in like 3 phases.
Oh.
I can feel that. It definitely is that kind of film.
Yeah.
I had heard that this film was terrible, and I had nonetheless also heard from a kind of minority of people that actually it was really great. And the people who said it was really great seemed to think it was really great for the same sort of reasons I hoped it would be really great. Like, it was similar kind of sensibility. So I was hoping I would be one of those people. Now, the first scene of this movie is a stripper scene shot in a really woozy kind of bluesy sort of way. And I really liked how it was shot, and I liked the vibe. And I thought, maybe I'm going to really dig this. And then the next 15, maybe 20 minutes after that were freaking awful, really bad. And I was like, oh shit, I hate this film. This is so disappointing. This isn't so bad it's good or anything like that. This is just like really badly edited, really badly acted. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, this is going to be such a slog. And then it got to a point kind of about like 20 minutes in, around the point she gets kidnapped. Mm-hmm. Or the point where she gets rediscovered.
When Dakota arrives.
When she gets rediscovered and says, oh, I'm Dakota, that I started to get really into it. And I was like, actually, this is like pretty good. This is like watchable at least. And then at the halfway mark, it suddenly got so batshit insane that I was fully on board. And the second half of this movie, I freaking loved it. By the end of the film, I was like, yes, I'm a true believer.
I love how that journey is literally like just shifting gears.
It was such a journey.
More and more like wrapped up as you go. A bit stuttery in second gear, but off we go.
There are specific points in this film where something happened, and I was like, yes, I'm on board. And I'm looking forward to pointing out each and every one.
Yeah,
absolutely. Claire, just quickly before we go into the plot, just my first impression, and I'd be really keen to hear you talk about yours as well, maybe as you're talking through the plot, like how your opinion has changed through your rewatches. Andrew, 100% with you. When it first started, I was like, okay, this is moody, it's kind of cool, what you said, vibey, loving the vibe, and then it just switches and I'm like, what the This isn't what you said it was going to be. And you know what? I think it all lines up with who is on screen, which we will go into. What Lindsay Lohan are we watching? I think that has a part to play in it. But yeah, I mean, every time it shifted up a gear, I was like, I'm not sure what's happening, but I know I'm having fun. So Claire, please do tell us a little bit more about the plot. And what happens in this batshit crazy Lindsay Lohan film.
Okie dokie. So as Andrew says, we open up with a seedy kind of strip club, and out comes Lindsay Lohan wearing a lot of clothes for a stripper, doing a routine which we can discuss whether it was good or bad, but as she's doing this routine, we then see down the stripper pole as her hand glides down, drips of blood, which is very atmospheric. We know where we're going. Very, very good. Then suddenly we're following Lohan. She's in a class, she seems quite different, and she's reading a story about a mysterious girl who doesn't know who she is inside. And we see her kind of living her life. We see her interacting with a very creepy gardener outside her house in a scene that is so desperate to be Blue Velvet that I just couldn't cope.
There's a lot in this film that really wants to be David Lynch.
Yes. Then we see her inside playing the piano with a piano teacher with some really cool glasses, which I'm questioning, were the glasses a filming choice or did the actor need those glasses? I'm hoping they were a filming choice. And Aubrey talks about the fact that she's just not doing well at the piano anymore, and she feels like it's time to quit and focus solely on her writing. Her writing is her life. But her piano teacher is upset. She won the Young Artist competition. Does she not know how great that makes her? And the next competition is coming up soon. But Aubrey says no. She's focusing on the writing. Then we get another great scene of Aubrey writing in her bedroom. There's a lot of Aubrey writing on a laptop scenes. And we're again talking about someone being half a person. We get to see her either at school or university. I read it as a university, but I don't even know if the film knows if she's a high school student or a university student.
No.
I read it as university because on the football sign it does say university.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going with that one.
It felt like high school to me, but they have a college football team, which is clearly like a college level football team with a massive stadium.
Yeah, that was the football scene was what made me think she's at university college level. She's not a high school student. And
I also felt like that was reinstated by the fact that the confidence with which she sat on that desk at the front of that classroom reading her.
Oh my god!
That would not go down in high school because I thought she was the bloody teacher.
That would not. I work at a university. That would not go down at university.
I know, but more so than high school. I mean, there are no rules in films like this anyway. So,
we meet her boyfriend. He's very sweet. He gives her a very pretty blue rose. We then kind of do this gorgeous side sweep where we see a board full of missing girl signs, almost like that's important to the plot. And then we get some screaming and this mixture of like half news footage.
By the way,
yeah.
TV down.
We get a mix of like news footage and a sheriff talking about how they found a body and highlighting that there's clearly this issue with women being abducted in the town. We then go back to high school / university, and Aubrey is in a dissection scene with her boyfriend, who I just don't know what to make of this scene, because they're dissecting an animal or an insect of some sort, and then he reaches for her leg, and like, fair play to her. If I was having to do a dissection, it's probably not the time I want someone to be giving me like a little squeeze, but the way she reacts to like a gentle leg pat, you would think he'd just got naked and tried to get on her right there and then. She is like, this is all you think of me? Do you only think of me for sex? It's like, he gave you like a little tap on the leg.
See, this is where it's interesting because you described her as her boyfriend, but when I was watching it, I was just like, it looks like maybe they have a bit of a hookup thing, but he keeps trying to like try on a bit more.
He meets her in the quad and gives her flowers. And
I know. He's
bought her a very expensive rose. And in the middle of the quad, and she's accepted it with like love and like, oh, thank you, that's gorgeous. And then in the next scene, it's like, don't touch my leg. And I'm like, woman, you were giving a lot of mixed signals here. Like, yeah, I feel for him.
Well, I won't reveal when it happens, but later on, she mentioned about how she's done sort of sleeping with people that don't respect her or something like that. So that's what made me think, oh, well, they're not even together. But I think what's happening is I'm trying to make logical sense out of something that doesn't make logical sense.
Well, no. So she does mention at a certain point in the film that you're talking about, just a couple of scenes later, that she's got late admission to, I believe, Yale, and that in the January she will be moving to Yale, I believe.
No.
So she mentions to her friends, like, oh, I just don't want to start a relationship now. It's not the right time. I have to focus on this. So, like, I get it. You want to focus on you, but it's just the outrageous reaction to quite a small... Like, he's not a stranger. If a random guy you don't know in class does that to you, 100% go wild at him. But this is a man that it's been set up to show us that gives her flowers, kisses her, like, spends time with her. I don't think it's out of the realm. And, like, it's totally fine if she's like, not now, we're in class. But it's the level of reaction.
To be honest.
Now you're making me think of the issue around whether they're at university or not, because she is clearly attempting to, like, focus on her creative writing.
Mm-hmm.
But she's in a worm dissection class.
Yes.
So, like, what's her major?
That was my thing. That's why I was like, wait, but this is like a high school class, so I don't understand. Like, I don't think the film understood.
I also don't understand why she's going to Yale in January. Like, what kind of academic year?
Well, that's why I wondered if she's at community college and she's just taking some easy credit bits that she got late admission to Yale, maybe she got waitlisted and she's going to go for the, like, next semester. I've put a lot of thought into this.
I love a screenplay that's a puzzle, you know. Christopher Nolan who?
She's just, she's doing some community courses, dissection, real easy one. Just get some credits while she focuses on the piano writing and the piano playing, creative writing. She's going to be a world-renowned writer, pianist, insect doctor.
We should also say, if we're keeping track of the really clunky symbolism in this film, while they're in that worm dissection class, someone does stick up their hand and say, if I cut this worm in two, do I have two worms?
Yeah.
And the teacher says, no, that's a myth.
One thing I wanted to just mention as we're sort of going through some of the details of the plot, did anyone else actually squawk at the fact when the teacher is told, just fill in some gaps for you as well, Claire, that there is missing girls, obviously, that you mentioned, and one of them is the high school / college student, we're not quite sure. The police, I think it's the police, come in to tell the teacher. Yeah, and the teacher says, Jennifer Toland's body has been found. Please do not ask me any more questions. I don't know the details. I was like, okay, girl, calm down. Like,
there are some reactions in this film that just feel a little bit fast.
But that was another example of, like, a really obvious homage / rip-off of David Lynch, because that was very much like the scene in Twin Peaks in the first episode where they say that Laura Palmer has been killed. But they don't actually say that to the kids. There's an announcement and the kids into it that Laura's dead, and they all start weeping, and, like, someone snaps a pencil in his hand because he's gripping it so tight. It's all very intense. And that felt like they were kind of aiming for the same thing.
I did forget about the intensity of Lynch films, so suddenly, yes, this all makes sense why this film has such intense reactions.
Right.
Maybe they were going for that, but have the cop come in, whisper in the teacher's ear, and then, the teacher just says, oh, your classmate's dead. Do not ask any questions. I don't know.
Like, does anyone want to talk? Does anyone need to leave the room? Like, you're welcome to go home. Like, no, don't ask me a question. Keep cutting up this thing. We then get to hear the autopsy notes of this body that's been found, and we learn that she's had limbs removed and been cut up. I feel like you need to do a drinking game for this film where every time someone says the word cut, you take a shot.
Ooh, yeah.
You might die, but I think it would be great. Next time I watch it, Aubrey, goes back home, and we get just the worst scene of the gardener pretending a giant branch is his dick.
So long.
It's not an important scene, but it brings up something that I know we'll definitely come back to. in the like, who is Aubrey? Because in this scene she seems so into it, but just a minute ago she was talking about how she's a good girl and she doesn't want to be touched, and she is like inviting, like, no one should have anything done to them. I'm very all about consent, but it's just a weird juxtaposition building her character up that she is like, give me, like, encouraging this.
My boyfriend, but I will sleep with the gardener,
and it's very sexual. Anyway, that scene doesn't really come back for any relevance.
No, but it goes on for so long, and the camera, when it's looking at Lindsay, literally like goes from her feet up so slowly.
It lingers.
And they're just eye fucking each other the whole time.
It's like she's filling up. She's filling up with desire.
Yeah.
So yeah, it may not be important to the plot, but it was probably one of my favourite scenes.
Yeah.
In the whole thing. So
I think it's like a red herring that they're like. They've shown her reading her story about how she was really two souls divided into two girls and that kind of thing, and then to have her be like, "Oh, don't touch my thigh," followed by, "Oh, I really fancy the gardener though." It's like maybe this girl has some kind of personality disorder or multiple personality disorder.
And at this point in the film opened with who we can only assume is Aubrey stripping. We've actually seen this girl stripping at the start of the film. So we then go to the football game that we kind of mentioned, and again confuses me because she's there cheering in the crowd for her football player, maybe boyfriend, with the flower he gave her, blowing him kisses from the stand. Is he your boyfriend or not?
Commit, woman.
The bigger issue, which Daisy, I need you to get this on tape.
Oh.
If I ever go missing and am found dead, do not dedicate a football game to my memory.
I'm sorry. Also, didn't they say out loud on the speaker, Jennifer Toland's body has been found this week? Not R.I.P. like poor Jennifer. Like,
but then let's win this one for Jennifer.
Yeah, that totally was a joke.
Please never ever do that for me. I don't care how I die. That is just no.
Let's have a moment of silence because Jennifer Toland's body has been found. All right, now let's get out there and win this one for Jennifer Toland.
That's literally what they say.
I was so offended for Jennifer. Maybe she was a big sports fan. I don't know. I found it offensive for her.
It's just not.
Then at the end of the football game, Aubrey's walking around with her friends in the town. It's really busy. We hear kind of over speakers that there's a curfew for under 21s and that they need to go home. This is when she has the conversation about going to Yale and not wanting to fuck around anymore and not be in a serious relationship. And she then sees boyfriend, not boyfriend, up ahead, tells her friend she's going to go catch up with him and she'll meet them outside the cinema at a certain time. We do then see the gardener again. The gardener drives past in the car. She
kind of hides behind the tree a little bit.
Yeah, it's like she's scared of the gardener. Then,
what is it?
We don't really see anything. Then all of a sudden, her hysterical friends are outside of the cinema at a much quieter time of day, just losing their goddamn minds that she's not there. Which, if there is a murder on the loose, I guess I would be scared too. But they just, again, 0 to 100, the Lynch mode.
Where are you? Where are you?
Sorry, but my favourite thing of that scene is when the boyfriend comes in and they're like, wait, she's not with you, and then obviously they freak out, but then he's like, where did she park her car? And she's like, the street.
But then
the street, the one, the little street, and he's like, no, I don't know the one.
But then they find her car, it's still there, the blue rose lies in the front of the dashboard. If she left the rose, something terrible must have happened.
We're keeping track of really clunky symbolism. Can I just have a quick word about the cinema and all the films playing at the cinema? It's like a big old school 1950s, 1960s marquee type cinema with a lot of neon and the kind of big white facade that you put the letters up on to show what's playing. Playing at the cinema is Murder by Contract, which is supported by The Mad Room. So that's what's playing. There's also a number of posters up for films coming soon, one of which they have pretty much the entire conversation next to, and that's One Girl's Confession. In the poster for One Girl's Confession, which is like a 1940s style noir exploitation looking kind of film, the girl in it looks exactly like Lindsay Lohan. She's like a redhead. And so the movie's called One Girl's Confession, and the tagline on the poster, whilst they're standing next to it shouting, "Where are you?" The tagline on the poster is, "I confess, I'm the kind of girl every man wants, but shouldn't marry."
Nice. I want to see that film. We then see Aubrey on a bed, tied up, screaming. Someone is giving her a tablet. As someone who gives an animal a tablet on a regular basis, I've never seen anyone give someone a tablet so badly. If you're supposedly killing and drugging all of these women, get better at it. Like, he's just too good at the rest of it. But, like, in my notes, I've literally written, like, never seen anyone give someone a tablet so badly. The torture, I thought, looked quite good. Like, it's depicted well.
Yeah, I felt quite nauseous watching that, actually. Like, to the point where I actually thought it looked even more like... I had such a visceral reaction. I was like, does this look more realistic than Saw? Because I don't remember ever feeling this, like, icky about watching Saw.
I turned Saw off. I had such a visceral reaction to Saw, I turned it off. But for me, Saw was all about the waiting. And all I kept thinking was about me being in that moment. And it just upset me so much. Whereas this, it was gross. It was good, but gross.
Yeah, I think you're right. Although, like, I mean, absolutely would argue that Saw is gross too. I think there's so many more elements to it when you're watching it that either put you off more, or for me, like, it's just a different kind of film.
Different fear.
This torture scene. Yeah, different fear. I was watching this torture scene going, I feel physically sick. I can feel... Like, I can't even imagine, actually.
It was surprisingly gross. It was, like, properly, like, nasty scene.
The finger, when he pulls the cold slab off the finger, that was so well done.
Yeah, so like, it was using dry ice, wasn't it? Dry ice with a clamp around the hand. And my word, when he lifted that up and the skin was just, I think that was probably the best thing about the film was the torture in terms of making it look that realistic.
Absolutely. Interspersed between these scenes of torture, we see detectives talking to her parents, trying to figure out if she could have gone anywhere, what she might be, what's going on, and we get more scenes of torture throughout this. It's kind of interspersed. We then get to see kind of the manhunt with who I just think are the worst detectives I've ever seen in any sort of piece of media in my life.
But they have an amazing murder room. With one step up from, putting post-it notes on the wall and wrapping red twine around
it's implied that is the local church hall, because there's the really random line where he goes, "Well, I hope they don't want to play bingo tonight."
Honestly.
So I think it's meant to imply it's quite a small town and they've had to take over this place because it's such a big hunt. It is a very impressive room. I really liked the bit where they utilised technology later on in the film by writing delusional over the top of her head.
Yes. That was it was like a reveal. She's not like, she's delusional. Oh, that was chef's kiss.
Then they screencast it to a massive screen behind them. So everyone who walks in gets to see a big picture of Lindsay Lohan's face with the word delusional.
Can I just say, though, imagine if that was happening in real life and this psychologist was just like, she's not lying, and then you're standing there watching him write out a really long word that you know what he's going to say. And you're like, can I say it, or we have to wait for you to write out that?
I just got this touch screen. Let me use it. Let me get my value out of my touch screen.
No, but even if we'd written it with a pen or a Sharpie or something, and they write it really quickly, and then it's just he was using a mouse. Everyone knows how hard it is to write with a mouse. Cops had to stand there and be like,
let me fire up Photoshop for a second.
Just let him. He could have typed it over the picture, but and these cops are like, yeah, we know. Just let him finish.
We digressed and skipped ahead with that. I'm glad we all appreciated that moment in the film. The detectives I just don't understand. But so we have all this interspice, lots more torture, lots more kind of manhunting detectives, figuring out what's happening. Then we get to meet this lovely woman in her car, screaming, having an argument. I think it implies that she's breaking up with her boyfriend. Again, for more dodgy kind of references, she talks about, we're almost the same person. We finish each other's sentences. More of those hints of two things becoming one. And then she has an altercation with a fox in the road and comes off the road slightly. and finds a body in the road. They found Aubrey. We see her in an operating theatre. They have to remove her leg because it's half hanging off. She's lost fingers and arms and things like that. And again, these are interspiced with more detective scenes where they talk about the fact, oh, I wonder why she's been found alive. She was only gone for 18 days. Only gone for 18 days, only being missing and tortured for 18 days. That's nothing, according to these detectives. She then wakes up in hospital, and her parents are like, Aubrey, thank God. And here is where we get our twist, where Andrew gets re-involved and the passion for the film reignites. Who's Aubrey? My name's Dakota. Do-do-do.
Now this is where my ears pricked up. Can I just say, incidentally, in terms of the huge tonal variation of this film, and we've already mentioned that this kind of made for TV teen movie kind of vibe near the beginning, where she's reading her story to the class, and then you have this like horrific violence in a torture scene later on, and so you're always on the back foot. And there was one particular moment where they found this body of this girl who's maybe Aubrey, maybe Dakota. They've taken her to the hospital. She's on a ventilator and they're operating to remove like her damaged leg or whatever. The dialogue from the doctor and the nurse is, her heartbeat's rising, and then the doctor says, she's fucking awake. And the nurse says,
oh my God, yes, she wakes up in the middle of it.
Oh, for God's sake. And then he put her back under.
The doctors in this town clearly almost as good as the detectives.
Like, what an angry doctor! Like he's like taking her leg off, and then just starts ranting, "Fucking
like,
awake!"
This poor girl. How dare she wake up in the middle of this trauma?
He's so angry about that. It's amazing.
Okay, so we then kind of get a mishmash again with. Keeps being interspersed with these detective scenes trying to figure out the backstory. We then see Dakota/Aubrey talking about how she doesn't know who her parents are, and we get a therapy scene with a psychologist where we get Dakota's backstory, and she tells us that she is the daughter of a crack addict. We get a beautiful flashback scene, and we haven't discussed enough just how every single moment up until this point has been blue. Every prop is blue. Every window is blue. Mm-hmm. There's blue tonals. We get kind of that, I can't remember the word of it, but where it fades to black and white, but everything stays blue. All of a sudden, Dakota's backstory, it's all red, because Dakota is fiery and passionate and red. I just wanted to make sure we mention that. We get this beautiful backstory where Dakota goes, she talks about her mum never having any interest in her. She hasn't heard from her in a few weeks, breaks into her apartment and finds her mum's dead body. And the dead body, fairness to the prop design, like the makeup artist, whoever, good work. But Dakota's surprisingly chill about this, dissolving body of her mother.
Had to have the money in the envelope next to her dead mum.
So finds an envelope with the town that Aubrey is from on the name, on the envelope with some money inside. And she says that's the reason that she was in the town. She found this envelope. The psychiatrist is horrible to her and properly goes in at her. He speaks to the detectives speak to her. We get more backstory, and they are all giving this girl such a hard time about why is she making up these lies about being Dakota. And we'll talk about isn't she Dakota later on. But just from a stance of a human being, this girl really has been held and tortured for 18 days, lost an arm and lost a leg, and you don't know God what's happened to her. She wants to make up another personality to cope with that trauma. I think she's allowed.
Yeah, they were like, you're not cooperating. And we're like, she's not a terrorist, giving you, all of the names of her organisation. She's a victim, come on.
I will say this in defence of the psychiatrist. He has somehow, despite obviously being within the movie and not watching the movie externally, he has somehow picked up on the colour symbolism himself. So when he writes down all the biographical facts as he's interviewing Aubrey/Dakota, he's got two lists side by side on his pad. And he's writing down stuff about Aubrey using his blue biro. And then when she's like, no, I'm Dakota, let me tell you about me.
He whacked out a red pen. Like you do
He's
have
got one of those pens with like multiple
Yeah.
different colours, so he like clicks
of
it across from blue to red, and then starts writing in red all the stuff about Aubrey.
The
It's
colour symbolism.
I don't know where you picked up the colour symbolism, given that you're not watching the film. But fair play. That's very
I'm
sensible.
glad actually you reminded me that it was one of the multiple coloured pens, because I'm like, who on earth at any point when they're at work goes, unless, I mean, fair play to you, like some people are really organised, but generally if you're in a situation like that, you're not going to be like, hold on, let me just switch colours.
I do that
I'm
all the
just
time
wondering
at work,
what you would
actually.
have done.
I work with multiple sets of data, so if I'm talking about two things at one time, I need to write them in different colours so I understand later.
I just get upset that I'm not that organised. That's
Those
all.
multiple colour clicky pens are a literal lifesaver.
Well, what would have happened though if she had more than 6 personalities?
He needs one of those jumbo ones. I have a jumbo Hello Kitty one that has like 12 colours. That's what you need if you've got real split personality. A jumbo pen.
I really wish he'd have brought that out.
Okay, so while this has all been going on, they've been keeping the fact that she was found secret, so she's still a missing person, and they've been letting her recover in the hospital. Someone leaks to the press. We see her dad watching the TV. Someone has leaked to the press that she is out and that she's available. We then cut to some torture scenes. So we're like, is this a memory that Dakota/Aubrey is having? And then we see Dakota wake up and her arm is covered in blood. Someone has cut up her arm and she's pooling in blood in the hospital, and her dad is the first one there. And he's like, what is happening?
Incidentally, this is the point at which I was fully on board. We have a shot where blood, her arm is not only covered in blood, the blood spontaneously emerges
beautifully
from a kind of almost supernatural cut that appears in her arm, I guess. So this is the point at which the movie is like, maybe I'm supernatural. Have you considered that possibility? I was a big fan.
I liked that scene, and I like how they used the dad being right there when we've just seen him acting really aggressively to the fact that she's been announced as found. Like, oh, what role does the dad have in this? And it gets your mind going a bit, gets that mystery element.
The cops are like, get out of the room! And he's like, someone sliced up my daughter!
Does he say sliced or does he say cut? I'll be really sad if he doesn't say cut. I'm going to have to rewatch it to check.
It's not. And Lindsay Lohan is screaming and thrashing around.
Red blood, obviously.
And then it does one of the things that it was doing a lot right near the beginning of the film, which is just kind of fade to black. Because it's like, we didn't manage to shoot any more of this scene. Fade.
Yes. We then see her in physical therapy, and the therapist is really nice to her, actually calls her Dakota, and gives her bionic limbs, which, as someone who knows very little about, limb removal and prosthetic limbs, that's not really how it works. It definitely doesn't work that quickly, and you don't just get a robot arm with a rubber glove that you put over the top of it.
Absolutely. And also, I'm pretty sure he tells her that she needs to plug in her leg at night, but not the arm. The arm's
will live
cool.
forever, but that leg.
Powered maybe, but the leg needs to be plugged in, which is a very, very, very important plot point.
Never comes back.
The physically.
Barely.
To be fair, like very, very tenuously.
You're right though. The arm, the hand appears to be completely like automated and a really sensitive piece of equipment. And he just kind of like attaches it to her arm stump and says, "Oh yeah, like the nerves will send input to it, so it'll work." And I'm like, what fucking year is this? But it's like a really impressive piece of kit. And then she's just got this like leg, this lower leg, which presumably doesn't have to do as much because it doesn't need the fine, motor controls that the hand does. And yeah, absolutely. He just says, "Oh, you need to plug the leg in at night. Otherwise, it would be like driving around a wooden leg." So
what does the leg do when it's charged that means it isn't like a wooden leg?
It's got anti-gravity, it floats.
Just her leg in the air.
So we never get to see her really wearing it because they didn't have time. Like they couldn't do the special effects.
Well, not to skip ahead, but there's a moment in like the next scene or two where it pans across.
Charging.
And her leg is plugged into the wall like a phone, and there's an LED bar going up the side. Going,
if you want a prosthetic leg, you really want to have a charging bar at the side for everyone to see.
it's like running up the ankle and all up the chin. This charging bar. Like, ignore my foot. I'm just charging it.
So yes, going to that scene. So she leaves the hospital, goes home with her non-parents, who are very upset because she won't accept that she's Aubrey. There's a weird dialogue about the really ugly furless cat, which I just don't have time to go into. The
lingering shots on that hairless cat, by the way.
So many.
It's like, don't forget about this cat. It's going to be important. It's never important. They just had all this stock footage, I'm sure, of this cat.
But the cat does have a blue collar.
It has a blue collar.
So it does come into play. That if we're thinking about the colour blue and the fact that, just to jump back, that the abductor had blue like sort of nerve instruments. You know, there's nothing to say that the cat may not be involved.
100% actually. Going back to they are some fancy ass like torture instruments. They're like made of this beautiful blue glass that looks like it's been like hand blown. Like, this person is not doing it by halves, which I'm still annoyed that he doesn't know how to administer a basic tablet. But like, they are some fancy stuff.
We see the murderer.
They are, but they would never cut through bone. It's glass.
We see the murderer making these implements in what appears to be a medieval alchemist lair.
Yeah.
With a massive grindstone, making big blue knives, and there's like
all these women in the town have gone missing, and I was like, should we go up to that massive like medieval lair at the top of the town to maybe see?
No, never. No. We've already done a brief drive by. It's fine. There's nothing going on up there.
On the subject of blue, I've written down just randomly as many things that are blue in this film as I could see.
Oh God!
We have the cat collar. We have Aubrey's car. We have everything in her bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
We have the outfit she's wearing when she's flirting with the gardener, which is head to toe blue. Mm-hmm. Even in the photo on her bedside of her like skiing in the Alps, she's wearing a blue beret.
Oh, even when she's being tortured, her underwear is blue.
All her underwear is blue while she's being murdered and tortured. Everyone appears to be wearing medical gloves, even if they're just wearing them to do some gardening.
Yep, and they're all blue.
She's gagged with a blue piece of fabric. The FBI have got forensic blue gloves for like when they're rummaging around. Her piano tutor has a massive blue stone on his ring on his right hand, which he waves around and says, "Watch this hand."
This is how easy it is. And then goes...
blue is the colour of the college/high school football teams. They're all in blue shirts. And just before she goes missing, a football fan runs and shouts in her face, covered in blue paint, and just goes, "I'm blue!"
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking that the song Blue
it's been in my head a week.
now has so many more verses that they can do.
One of my favourite songs. But
the soundtrack.
What I thought was, so I watched this, I said, back in either 2008 or 2009, I was at university doing a film course, and I remember even when watching it being like, this is like when one of us has an idea and we get too carried away and no one stops us. And like the blue.
No, you know what though, I get it, because like when you're in uni, because I did film production for a year, and when you have that sort of idea where you're like, oh, guys, do you know what would be really cool if we had like blue for her and red for her, and then you look back at it years later, you're like, oh, honey, no.
When Dakota, and we're just coming to this point in our plot summary, I know, when Dakota is led into Aubrey's bedroom, she looks around, and the first thing she says is, "Did Aubrey pick the colours?"
I loved that bit. But this brings me on to there are a lot of plot holes in this film, and by a lot I mean a lot. But do you know the one that bugs me more than any other plot hole? She is in Aubrey's home, living Aubrey's life, and it's been made very clear that Aubrey is clearly colourblind and can only buy things that are blue. for the whole rest of the film, Dakota wears pure red outfits. Where did she get these clothes from? Because she didn't get them from Aubrey's wardrobe. Aubrey's never seen the colour red. Where did these clothes come from? Really bugged me.
Maybe she got some dye from the supermarket and was just like, yeah, I'm just going to re-dye all of.
Maybe she just chucked them in a bath of some red dye.
At what point between being at physical therapy and leaving the hospital did she say to her fake mum and dad, like, can we just stop by the shops? I need some red.
I need some red clothes.
Did it with blue.
But yeah, so she's at home in beautiful red glory, and then her boyfriend,
short shorts and a nice thick red cardigan, which I thought was tremendous.
Her boyfriend / not boyfriend comes to visit, and even though she knows that she's not Aubrey, she decides that he's quite hot. She makes out with him and says, you must know that I'm not Aubrey if I kiss you like that. And then they go upstairs.
When you say kiss you like that, I think she literally bites his lip.
She does, doesn't? Yeah, she bites his lip.
She's like, would Aubrey do that? Like, how the hell would she know that Aubrey wouldn't do that?
She's seen Aubrey's bedroom. She knows there's no red in there.
She's like, this isn't a lip biter's bedroom.
but then he goes right back in for another kiss, so you must be quite into the bite.
Yeah. He gets so into the bite that they decide to go upstairs, and we get one of the all-time greatest sex scenes. Before we get into the context and how the sex scene is written, I just need to make one really inappropriate point. Mm-hmm. She is on top for this sex scene. She's a double amputee. She is missing an arm and a leg. Why are you making the girl be on top? For the love of God.
Let the girl rest. Bear in mind, this didn't happen that long. Like, I don't know the timescale of this film, but it can't have happened that long ago either. She was still on crutches.
Yeah.
Did she use crutches to move around?
She got some great balance in the bedroom. I guess that's what pole dancing teaches you. Yeah. It was the first thing. Like, there's so much going on in that scene, but that was the one thing that I just was like, that's just. Yeah, so there's like, in this sex scene, we get some like real funky music going on. It is a terribly directed sex scene. It's one of the least sexy sex scenes I've ever seen. But it's interspersed with this really like funky, almost like American Pie music, with shots of the mum downstairs hearing the very loud sex and like covering her head and scrubbing the kitchen.
Yeah, so rather than leave the room, she decides to just clean harder. In the hope that would cover the sound.
I can't remember if I've mentioned it while we've been recording, but I listened to like 5, 6, 7 other podcasts about this film. I like really deep dived. And then someone on a different podcast pointed out, we've seen that house. That house is fucking massive. There is no way she would be able to hear them that loudly, and if she did hear them that loudly, there's like 20 other rooms she could go to.
Literally.
The way she's looking up at the ceiling, it suggested that she's the kitchen's directly below the bedroom.
Yeah, like a light is swinging or something.
Like, the look in her face is like, oh, I wish I didn't have to hear this.
You don't.
Just go to the east wing. Just go down to the wine cellar or something. It'll be fine.
Oh, they definitely have a wine cellar in that house.
Brilliant.
So yeah, we have this sex scene, and then she's like, did Aubrey ever fuck you like that? If she ever fucked you.
As she's smoking a cigarette inside with the blue light. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Because there's no clear source of where that light is coming from other than behind the camera.
Well, no, it's like bisexual lighting. It's all very edgy and like glorious. I was a big fan.
So then the boyfriend questions her about like what's going on and what's happened, and then we move to a scene of her showering, and it's very unclear if this scene is a flashback or just the next scene in the narrative.
I had to rewind this because she's got her hand back, but there's nothing else to suggest it's a flashback.
No, you kind of
But doesn't she start? I thought, because I did understand this, and I was. She's just telling the story.
The voiceover doesn't start until the end of the shower scene, though. So, like, it is if you're not paying like full attention and notice the hand. I was like, she's in the shower, and then her hand started bleeding, and I was like, huh. And then she starts the voiceover, and I was like, oh, gotcha, right, on board.
Right, okay. I think I just kind of was just like letting it wash over me, and then like, do you know what? I'm not even going to try for this to make sense. I'm just going to see what happens.
Her hand starts to like
spontaneously
go necrotic. And I was like, oh shit, she's losing her other hand now. And
that's what I thought too.
And then I'm like, no, wait, she's already, her other hand's fine. And at that point, I needed to rewind it.
Well, do you know what we missed, Andrew, which I realised on the second watch? It's blue-tinged scene, so clearly it's an Aubrey scene. Or like a, you know what I mean, like a pre... It's signposted, but so she's in the shower and she's washing her hair and she looks down at her hand and her middle finger suddenly starts pooling with blood and immediately goes narcotic. Now, there's a couple of things with this. We saw in the torture that he did it to her whole hand. So what about the other fingers? And number two, girl, like, go get some help immediately. Like, what are you doing? Instead, we keep going with this flashback, this story that she's telling, and we go back to the strip club, where we see her dealing with the finger, and it's like starting to become really bloody and really disgusting. And so she just puts on some like full length gloves over the top and drinks a load of alcohol and goes out, and
that's the ticket.
It takes us back to the scene at the start of the film where and it kind of explains a little bit why the dance wasn't that great, because she's clearly off her head on pain and alcohol, and she's dancing around. Is this the scene where she puts the cigarette in her vagina?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I didn't get that though until I watched another video of someone else talking about this film, and I was like, oh, that completely went over my head. She wave it
around somewhere in the vicinity of her inner thigh.
Yeah,
and then she passes it to a punter, but then.
Yeah, I thought she was just dragging it up.
Yeah. No, because then when she gives it back to the guy, he like sniffs it and then like puts it back in his mouth.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about how, like, whether you consider this to be a brave performance from Lindsay Lohan? Because I was reminded of Hustlers with J-Lo, where she's a stripper and it's all very glamorous, and every time she gets up and dances, her body looks amazing. She supposedly was doing her own stripping in that, but I suspect it was actually a body double. She just looks fabulous throughout. Where in this is not meant to be disparaging at all. Lindsay Lohan looks like a real girl who might have some perhaps drug issues. She's got like splotchy skin. She's got like a little bit of cellulite. She looks like a real person who isn't necessarily the healthiest in the world.
I struggled to not compare it to Hustlers as well, especially because I think I watched Hustlers over Christmas and I watched this in the first week of January. Because I've made a couple of jokes about how many clothes she's wearing for a stripper. But actually, if you watch Hustlers, the couple of main characters, J-Lo and Constance Wu, we never see any nudity from them. We see more bare, like at some points we see like a bikini or something. But J-Lo's big entrance, which is just goddamn lives in my mind rent-free, she's wearing like what you could call a swimsuit. And she's pretty fully covered. You see her butt, but you don't see much else. They handled in Hustlers nudity clauses or no nudity clauses so much better than this film did. But I agree with you about, was it that Lohan wasn't in a great state? Was it that the direction wasn't very good? Or was it a choice to highlight the fact that this girl, Dakota, is a mess and is falling apart? And I don't know if it's clear if it was accidental or on purpose.
I think it was a deliberate choice, and I quite liked that about it. I thought it felt sleazy, and
I think it definitely works better the second time when we've seen that she's falling apart and she's been drinking. I think the opening scene doesn't work quite so well because we don't really know what's going on and it just looks a bit rushed. And but when we then get the context, I think it definitely does.
I think the stripper scenes are some of the best directed scenes in the movie, even though
they had a very solid nude choice. Like they were very stylized.
When I rewatched it yesterday, I had a question. Do you think that the scenes where Lindsay is dancing and then the kind of shots almost from her perspective of the audience, I felt like they were filmed on completely different days?
Right. I didn't notice that, like, it wasn't glaringly obvious to me, but I have only seen the film once.
Yeah, when I was rewatching it yesterday when I was eating my dinner, I did think, I was like, oh, it seems like the almost the shot types are a little bit off, like the quality of the camera or the lighting or something seemed slightly...
I think that was by a B unit.
I wasn't...
That sounds plausible.
Which, to be honest, most probably are. They most probably do it like that, but it's just making it not seem that way, whereas clearly they haven't been that great at not showing that. But going back to
Andrew's original question, I do think it was like a brave idea of her. Like, I do think there's reason she chose this film, and there's reason she chose a character with so much heavy adult influence. And I do think whether or not we look at it at the time or we look back on it now, we think that those elements of the film work or don't work. I do think that it is a solid choice. And you have to think of it in the context of something more like Showgirls, I think, than Hustlers. I think it has a lot more of that influence. She's doing these dances and the quality is debatable, but then she's clearly kind of falling apart and coming in and out of kind of not even consciousness, just sense. And we see her then go back into the changing rooms, and she's clearly in pain, and we've seen the blood dripping down the pole from the hand. We see the glove is covered in blood, and then it's
very effective, actually.
It was.
The way that they do it, because you're like, what's under the glove? What's under the glove?
And she starts pulling it off, and when she pulls the glove off, the finger just falls off. The finger is dead. The finger is lying on the table, and she passes out, which rightly so, because when she was putting the glove off, I, a couple of years ago, accidentally peeled the top of my finger off with a potato peeler, and it was only a very small amount, but let me tell you, the blood from just a very small piece of my finger and the pain, I thought I was going to die. So when she was pulling the glove off and she didn't seem in that much pain, I was like, girl, like, you would be dying. But then when she passed out, I was like, okay, there we are. Like, she feels pain.
Yeah. There's something about like things being stuck, like I'm sure, Claire, you will have experienced at some point when you were at school falling over and getting a cut under your tights and then trying to peel the tights off of the cut is that is agony anyway. Like, let alone losing a finger.
Before passing out, she grabs a towel to try and stop the bleeding. Solid choice. Except for when packing a wound, we don't just grab a towel and wrap around the whole limb. We need to look at the specific element. Like, pack the finger.
Was so highly done. I was like, please. I was just sitting here going, I can't watch this without wanting to just be like, give me the towel. Like, even I know nothing medical, but I'm like, you've done that so good. You've basically wrapped it around the whole hand so the middle finger can bleed straight out the whole of the way that you've wrapped it.
Like,
just use the towel to funnel the blood out into a kind of...
literally. Which it does do on the bus later on, dripping down.
So she's found by what we believe is the club owner and another dancer. The club owner, I don't know who that actress was, but I thought she was great. I thought she perfectly fit the tone of the film, her performance.
You'll know the club owner from a couple of other things.
Yeah. She's the nun in The Conjuring.
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. I might send you a picture because you might have seen like
the film The Nun.
Yeah,
I've seen the poster. Yeah.
Because she originated in The Conjuring too. She's very striking face.
Oh, yeah. She's got an amazing face, like this like eagle beak of a nose.
I thought she was the most well cast and fit the tone of this film that it wanted. I don't think it ever really fully got the tone it wanted, but she was as close as we got in that scene.
She's also in one other movie. She's in Mulholland Drive.
So that's why it worked with his Lynchian vibes. That's because like this sells it the most. It's because she was trained by the man himself.
Yeah. So there's more than one person in this movie who's also in a David Lynch film. She's in Mulholland Drive, playing the iconic figure of the hobo that lives behind the dumpster.
No, she's not.
No. Behind the dumpster out the back of Winkies in a dream.
Can I just say that is what I referenced in our first episode, Claire, as the thing that absolutely gave me a heart attack. I want to look it up to see the comparison, see her in the context, but I'm just getting...
Well, I never realised before this morning when I was looking up who she was, that the hobo behind the dumpster around the back of Winkies and the nun from the Conjuring movie were the same person in the first place, let alone that she was also the strip club owner in I Know Who Killed Me.
His character name, might I add, is Fat Tina.
Character name is the ironically named Fat Tina, who,
Perfect.
of course, because they go through when the cast comes up in the credits at the end, because they do it alphabetically. The very first credit is just Fat Tina.
Beautiful.
Everyone's like, who the hell is Fat Tina?
So we then see Dakota. She said she's fine, and Fat Tina is like, please, how are you going to get to the A&E room? Like, are you okay? And seems genuinely concerned. Probably the only person in the whole film that shows any level of concern for this woman. And she's like, hospitals are for rich people. Girl, I get it. Like, I get that American healthcare is fucked, but you've literally just had a limb fall off. Like, I feel that there was ever a time
to go to the
yeah, and the fact that she doesn't know how it even happened either is a whole thing. Like, if you accidentally cut it off, like, that's one thing, but the fact that it's mysteriously dropped off, like, how do you know the rest of you isn't going to mysteriously drop off?
I would assume a necrotizing spider bite, which could end up with you losing a limb or just dying.
Yeah, 100%.
You definitely need to get to the hospital.
She takes a different approach. She takes another towel.
She got no tips for that dance. Is the issue.
So she takes another towel and again wraps it up terribly and goes on the bus home. And then she meets this cool
thing in the town red with her blood.
She meets a guy on the bus who tries to give her some helpful advice of, when you have an injury, you have to hold it higher than your heart because it stops the blood coming out, which is true. And then she's like to this guy, do you not want to know what I did? Sometimes
and he's like,
people get cut. That's life. Is that a car? Oh yeah, that is. I've written it down. People get cut. That's life. Like, wow. What a line! What a line! And I think I missed my best line earlier when she was still in the hospital. Well, she's in hospital and her mum and dad are trying to make her remember who she is. Her mum brings in like ornaments from home. And she's like, I bought you in this iPod. They say that people in comas relate to music. And she just turns around and goes, do I look like I'm in a fucking coma?
That honestly, we'll go into it in more detail, but Lindsay Lohan as Dakota, honestly, I was worshipping the ground that she was walking
so
on
because
she was not having any bullshit.
She's looking in a mirror in Aubrey's bedroom and trying to get into character as Aubrey to kind of like keep everyone happy, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's just like, hi, my name's Aubrey. I've never seen inside of a crack den.
Yeah, that was comedy gold. I actually think that was, if people think that's bad, I'm going to be like, you don't get it, because that is good. That is good.
I've never sold my body to old men with BO for cash.
God, Aubrey. So we see her on the bus and she has had that, and then I believe we flash back to the bedroom scene, or do we find out about the leg at that point?
Oh, who knows? We just flash around a bit.
Yeah, so we flash, and I've written like the flashback scenes are so unclear, in linear way. They just don't. Oh, it comes later. Cool. So we flash back to the bedroom scene, and she's talking to the boyfriend, not boyfriend, about it all. We cut to him running outside to talk to all the detectives outside her house and desperately begging any of them for a condom in a very strange tonal scene.
Oh, God, I did not know what was going on there.
We have already established that they only had one condom.
Yes, she does say that.
Very true.
Yeah, she has the line, only one of these, best make it count. And did you notice that the condom was blue tinged?
Oh, it does not surprise me. Because all beautiful colours.
Yes, she did. But so then none of the detectives have condoms because, I don't think that's...
And he was like, what do you mean you don't carry them around with you?
Be prepared. Always carry one. You never know.
We go back... Well, exactly. Given that it's heavily suggested that she doesn't have a sexual relationship with her boyfriend, it's implied that everyone's incredibly chaste.
Yes.
The fact that she has one condom in her bedroom implies that, it's very much her emergency condom.
Yeah.
for virginity losing purposes.
Yeah.
And she's made sure that it's a blue one because she wants a special occasion.
It's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Blue rose petals, blue condom, maybe, some blueberry scented stuff going on.
And then in the background, blue double doodle.
No, blue velvet. It's a lint homage.
Oh, of course.
Then he leaves in her car rather than his. He drives out super speedy, and they're like, "Where are you going?" And he's like, "Gotta go get a condom, guys." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And
but it's like they forgot the conversation that just happened.
Then
I'm sorry, I got really hung up on that. I was like, it's as if that scene didn't happen. I'm like,
very clearly running to the pharmacy.
And you're like, "Where are you going?" You're like, well, clearly he's going to get a condom. He just asked you.
It's the whole thing is some kind of elaborate deal to distract the FBI by pretending his car doesn't work and then desperately asking for a condom and then driving off at high speed in her car out of the garage.
And then we pull up outside a different house and he lets her out of the boot of the car because she's been hiding all along, which is very, very clever, except for the fact that he does it when they get to the place they are going, which implies that he's made the double amputee ride in a boot of a car. A double amputee who's just been kidnapped ride in the boot of a car for an undetermined amount of time.
I didn't even think about that.
But whatever.
In terms of inappropriate behaviour, where are they going?
So they are going to the home of Jennifer Dolan, our victim from the start of the movie, to talk to her parents and get a better idea of what happened.
This family have had their daughter kidnapped and murdered by someone who might be a serial killer. They're deep in grieving, and what should happen but a car screeches up outside, a boy gets out and lets a double amputee out the boot who is the guy's second victim, and they barge into their home and say, "Can we see your daughter's bedroom?" Right,
so I did have a little bit of an issue. So I understand that the parents are grieving and it implies that they're not ready to see her and they don't want to see her, but they react so horribly to her at the point in which she's already in their living room, sat down, having a cup of tea. If you don't want to let her in the house, have that argument on the doorstep. Don't invite her in. Make tea and then be like, "Fuck you, Dakota, why the hell are you here?" It's like, just let her in.
The break, honestly, just the switch. She's pouring out this tea and all of a sudden she slams it down and it's like, "No fucking here."
And again, as if they're like, "We heard you're not cooperating with the police. This is all your fault." The girl has been through immense trauma. Why are you all so mad at her? I'm sure she's cooperating in the best way she can.
Yeah.
But she... The mother storms out, the dad has a conversation with her, she ends up going upstairs to the girl's bedroom and she's searching around and she sees a blue ribbon at the top of a shelf, but she can't quite reach it, and just as she's about to get it, because she is drawn to it, there's again some supernatural type wind and kind of tones that makes you think that someone is speaking to her from beyond and drawing her attention to it. Just as she goes to reach it, her parents arrive and have a go at her, "Get out of here, you can't do this to people," and take her home.
Her parents, or are they? Because we're still not sure.
I like what you said earlier, Claire. Non-parents.
Yes, non-parents. She goes home and she starts researching stigmatic twins. She decides but she opens up Aubrey's laptop and it has password protected. She just goes, "I wonder what this girl Aubrey's password would have been." And would you know, the password was Dakota. So she starts...
Self-centered. I wonder what this other girl's password is. How about my name?
So she starts researching stigmatic twins, which is this phenomenon that twins, if one thing happens to one of them, it will happen to the other. And we see some references to the time a twin is shot in a bar and the other twin is found with all his neck and is basically dead and all of these things. And she starts to decide she must be Aubrey's twin because there's too many things saying that they are linked, and she feels connected. And all through the film we've been hearing like she felt like she was two people, or it feels like we're the same person in all these twin lineages that Andrew's been mentioning. So she goes down to speak to her mum, and she's like, I've got it, like I'm Aubrey's twin, like something's happened at the hospital, like they switched us or something happened. And she's like, no, absolutely not, and whips out a sonogram video, and she's like, see, there's only one of you in this sonogram, which
by video, by the way, like most people have sonogram pictures, but do many people have videos?
I guess. I mean, it's a solid bit of evidence. If you're going to go evidence, that's...
No, absolutely. But I just imagined that maybe just a picture would have sufficed.
This must have been the 90s as well. I mean, the movie is 2007.
So she's anywhere between 17 and 20, so...
Like end of the 80s, early 90s?
But it does imply that this family is very rich. So if that was a new gimmick, you know 100% that that's a gimmick that family would have taken.
Yeah, I guess.
So, like, they were the family at plays, at the Young Artist competition with the giant camcorder every year. But so she tells her, I was the only one of you. I had an accident when you were in the womb, and I had to be on bed rest, and we were worried you weren't going to make it. So when you did make it, we made sure you were you. So then this gets Dakota ticking, and she goes to the dad, and she's like, I know what you did. Yeah. You bought a baby from a crack adult whore in the hospital at the same time who had twins, and you told your wife, whose baby died, that this was her real baby. And he's like, no, I didn't. And she makes a very valid point that, well, if you did and you're refusing to acknowledge it, your daughter is still out there somewhere, either dead or being tortured, and you are hanging on to this lie rather than accepting it, which I thought, valid point for, a crackpot theory she's come up with out of nowhere.
I was going to say, did you guys really, my head was spinning. I was like, I was like looking around my room, like, how the hell where did that come from?
Good on her. She's observant. We know this about Dakota. She's had a tough life, and she knows how to read people.
Well, I was like, I jumped to the same conclusion as she was doing it, because I was like, isn't this just like The Omen? This is basically the same twist as The Omen, where the mum, like, the baby dies and the mum is out of it, and the dad is just like, I'll just substitute in, like, another baby that I've mysteriously managed to get my hands on instead.
Yeah.
Like, in The Omen, obviously, it's the Antichrist. Yeah. But in this one, it's Lindsay Lohan.
Okay, so after the confrontation with her dad, we then flash back to the before times. Dakota's made it home from the bus, raggedy, blood-filled towel at the pool. And we've already spoken about her choice to not go to the hospital and figure out why her finger fell off. She then makes what I would consider an even worse choice, where she has a clearly dead, and I'd say at this point, decomposing finger. Yeah. And she decides to just sew it back on. Now, even if we take aside how nerve endings work, which we've already spoken about the bionic hand, nerve endings are clearly different in this film. But why would, that finger's clearly dead. That finger is very, very...
Yeah. It's not like her finger has dropped off and then it starts, obviously, rotting. It's already rotted. It's gone, babe. It's too far gone.
It looks like she's just doing it with sewing needle and thread. It's a wonderful scene.
But she I was about to say, did she even take any sort of anything to numb the pain? And she does. She drinks a blue spirit of some kind. It is not WKD, but what I will say is she uses it like iodine, and then she drinks it, and I'm like, wait, but it doesn't look drinkable. It looked kind of, I don't know if I'm remembering it.
She's from the streets. But you drink anything you can when you're from a crack dead mother.
Ethanol, straight up.
She had to grow up hard. Bet Aubrey's never had to drink ethanol.
But you've never been inside a crack house.
I think it's the same fluid you see when she's being tortured.
That's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
All over, yeah.
That looked more jelly than what she... But I was like, is that the same thing?
I thought it was the same thing. But
me too.
Maybe it's watered down antibacterial hand gel.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Yeah. I mean, you're
Needs
poor,
must.
you take what you can get, yeah.
When you need to sew your own dead finger on, sometimes it's just not the kind of anesthesia that you need.
I can imagine
around
her in
the
the
house.
bar, like, I will have a hand soap and soda. Thank you.
I get not wanting to go to the hospital. I get not being able to afford to go to the hospital. Just sew the wound up. Like, why are you sewing the finger back on? Apart from that, it looks visually brilliant. Like, again, like the torture scenes, the body horror stuff is done really, really well.
Really visceral. Really, really done well.
But she needs something to, like, fill out her glove, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, she's going to have a glove finger flapping around while she's trying to...
Flapping around in the wind.
I mean, you could put, like, stuff it with something, but that is much more of a visual thing that I want to imagine.
How's she going to be able to, like, handle her stripper cigarette and do her whole routine?
Oh, yeah.
With a gap.
With a cap, and she'll keep dropping it.
You're making it all make sense now, Andrew. I understand.
No, I must have made a horrible mistake, because it clearly that can't be allowed to happen.
And so then we see this, and then we kind of see her lying in bed. So she talks about, like, not really knowing what's happening, and then she's lying in bed and wakes up screaming, similar reminiscent to the hospital scene we saw before. And she kind of looks down at her leg and she's gushing blood. And so it's meant to imply that what has happened to her finger starts happening to her leg. And then we see her on a street, like a high road, on a crutch. Doesn't explain where she got the crutch from, considering she's refusing to go to the hospital. But she's got a crutch and she's waiting for a bus. And it's implied that so she's had the decision that because her finger's fallen off and because her leg is now starting to fall off, what she should do is not go to the hospital, but travel to this different town to the address that she found on this envelope, because they will have the answers as to why her leg is falling off. So she tries to get a bus while her leg is half hanging off with some crutches that she's found, and that's how her body ended up on the side of the road.
Is this, so just now you said the bus stop, is this the bus stop time where she sees the figure that moves extraterrestrially?
No, we missed that bit. So that was when she was talking to the boyfriend about the flashback. She talks about how she felt like she was being watched, and it implies maybe that someone that was going to the strip club was trying to follow her home, and we see this spooky element behind a blue pane of glass at the bus stop.
A blue pane of glass with a red owl stenciled on it, which is, again, and there's owls hooting at various points in this movie, which is all very Twin Peaks, very the owls know what they've seen. But
the owl does make a very big appearance later on in a certain VFX shot.
But when we saw that earlier, and there was a figure watching her, and that was all what she was telling to the FBI guys.
It was, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, actually, because you're meant to believe that it's the same guy, obviously that took Aubrey, because of the silhouette and the blue gloves and things like that. But I just wanted to bring up the bus stop thing, because he's across the side of the road, and you know that whole spooky thing of when a car goes past and then all of a sudden it's closer to you. I was watching a YouTube video, and they quite amazingly pointed out that rather than disappear behind a vehicle and then appear in front, he just waits for the vehicle to go behind the guy, and then like cuts to him being further towards her. So it's not this mysterious how did he get there, it's just I'm gonna wait for this car to go past and then do a really rough cut of him just appearing close to her.
He just teleports. You can just see him teleport. It's ridiculous. But the FBI, straight after she's given that story, are just like, that was probably not true. And as it transpires, it was, I think she was just like riffing on what really happened and making it up.
Yeah,
because
it's
what we see later is, with her starting the hitchhike, is probably the reality of what happened.
Yeah. But you kind of you never know if she was being followed or if she is just making up, or it's a bit of a combination of both.
It's an unreliable narrator kind of thing, isn't
absolutely. So yeah, I'm not sure actually, you mentioned VFX, this actually happened before she confronted her dad. She's in her bedroom and she starts getting like attacked again almost. So it feels like something's happening to her face and she gets a nosebleed and she falls to the ground, and there's the beautiful shots in the mirror, and I think that's when the owl comes into it.
Yeah,
and it's
beautiful.
It's all very spooky, and again, is there a supernatural element to this? And it's a stupid scene in the fact that it doesn't relate to anything else in the rest of the film. Like it just feels like it's belonging to a different movie, but it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it looked great at all. I wrote mirror effect meh. Because actually, do you know what? Now I'm looking back, I'm like, it's actually really bad. But when I was watching it, it just it fitted with the rest of the film. So I was just like, actually, do you know what? It's just meh. But another good point that I've sort of like come to realise through research and just reading about it afterwards is that mirror scene, which is essentially a vision of what is going on with her twin, so to speak,
with the real Aubrey,
with Aubrey, is meant to represent her having this connection. What I wanted to mention earlier was that they don't show that these two have a connection. They tell us that Aubrey thinks she's split in two because of the stories that she tells. It's all exposition. We're never shown that, and that's a really big missed opportunity. And then this is the first time we see that.
No, we see the beach picture. God, do you not know how important the beach picture is?
We get a glimpse of the beach picture, and then a lengthy scene of Lindsay Lohan.
You never feel how Aubrey or Dakota are supposed to feel connected until this point. And then the mirror sequence isn't even like shown through Aubrey's eyes. It's a camera up on a big crane looking over the grave that she's in, essentially. I'm like, how on earth would Dakota be able to float over to where Aubrey is and look down on the scene? Like, that's not really how...
Magic.
She's having a psychic vision.
Yeah. She's seeing it through the owl's eyes, is my theory.
Yes.
The owl, very important.
She can. There's a name for it where you can like commune with animals and. See
like in Game of Thrones.
Like in Game of Thrones, yeah. She's the three-eyed raven at that point.
Yeah, three-eyed owl.
The three-eyed owl.
So yes, we see all this, and she's confronted her dad. He doesn't really seem to be wanting to help her. She then, because of all these visions, takes herself off to a graveyard, and she thinks that she sees Aubrey Fleming's grave. And again, we get these weird kind of cuts and vision supernaturally things, but she feels like Aubrey's talking to her. She feels like it's her dead body. And then her dad, she starts looking at the things that were left on the grave, and she sees that there is a ribbon that from the Young Artist Awards.
Yeah.
I cannot remember what it says, but it basically implies about her this person having a great gift.
Don't settle for the blue, go for the red or something.
Yeah, so blue ribbon's number one, isn't it? So isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't stop for the red, go for the blue.
Right. Okay, I'm on the same page now. That suddenly makes sense.
Red rosette is runner-up.
Yeah.
Got you. Oh, symbolism.
Like Dakota's the runner-up in life.
Yeah.
Because,
because she's got a crack.
Yeah. Because she's got a crack.
And she's seen the inside of a crack dam.
And then her dad scares her from behind and shakes her out of it, and she turns around and gives the iconic, "I know who killed me."
I cannot. You know, sometimes where there's just moments of a feeling that you can't describe. It's just pure joy. I watched that and I was like, "This is why I like film. This is why I watch films."
They said it.
That's the name of the movie.
It's the titular role.
The titular realization. Dad, I'm having the titular realization. I know who killed. It doesn't, because at that point,
she knows she's not her. She's not me.
She knows that it's her twin sister, not her, somehow. And does she think that her sister's dead at that point?
That's it. Yeah, that's not right, because she feels like, because she starts saying she's running out of time.
Yeah.
Well, then you've not been killed yet.
Wait. I know who has almost killed Aubrey. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it. So.
Nearly killed my twin sister. Would have been less of
You would not have picked that DVD up off the
no.
shelf.
I
if it was
would
called
have been less excited by the title.
She realises she's not at Aubrey's grave, she is at Jennifer Dolan's grave. The dad has agreed to help her. They decide to travel to the killer's dungeon medieval mansion with the glass blowing.
Don't tell any law enforcement.
Yeah, they're like, we don't have time to tell anyone. It's like,
don't have time to dial 911.
This was in 2007. We had mobile phones for a very long time. The graveyard, like, is this medieval mansion next to the graveyard and therefore it's in a forest with no signal? I don't think so.
No, we know the dad. We know the dad has a mobile phone because at one point it lights up blue.
Oh, yeah.
Of course it does.
But yeah, for whatever reason, they don't think, hey, we should tell law enforcement. And to be fair, the law enforcement in this film have been dog shit and quite accusatory. So
I will say this for law enforcement.
I can take this on myself.
But yeah, so they drive to a house. We still don't know who the killer is at this point. A clever person who can keep up with whatever the fuck is going on in this film maybe has an idea, but to be fair, no shame if you haven't.
I don't think it's about being clever. I think it's about being on another plane of like insanity, or like if you don't think logically, maybe you can work this out.
So they go to the house and the dad goes in first, tells her to wait in the car, and the dad goes in and doesn't come out. So she decides she's going to have to go in, and she sneaks around the side of the house and she finds her dad's dead body. In like the saddest scene, that guy, he's not very good in this movie. Is it something McDonough? I cannot remember his name. Neil McDonough. I love him. I think he's great. He was in Desperate Housewives. He's in Captain America. He's been in a load of the Arrowverse shows. I think as an actor, he has such an eerie presence. And I feel like that's why they wanted him in this film. But it doesn't allow him at any point to have a presence in the film. And by not giving him a death scene, felt like they missed a great trick there.
Yeah, just kind of like, he's lying on the table, he looks a bit pale and his eyes are closed, I guess he's dead.
Well, I have a question, because I felt like, not for the first time in this movie, I felt like I turned over 2 pages at once by accident. They're by the grave and they're like, we should run up to that castle and investigate because that's where it's all going down. And then all of a sudden she's on her own, and then later on she comes across her dad's dead body.
Yeah, it does skip super quickly.
Why did they split up?
So I think he was like, I'll go in, you're weak. Because there's a scene when they're driving in the car and she's like, I can't breathe. And he's like, you have to. And she's like, we've got to be really quick. So I think the implication is he's like, you stay here. I'll go in. But then he's like dead. And you're like, whoa, when did that feel like?
You have to have seen this film at least another time to get those things. Honestly, I was watching it and I'm one of these people, I'm really terrible in it. I do rely so much on subtitles and I'm trying really hard not to do that anymore. But I was watching it and it's not that I couldn't hear what they were saying. It's just that it wasn't like the way that it just wasn't like... It
doesn't conform to like typical expectations around narrative.
Yeah, of like an actual conversation. So it jumps around so much that I feel like you're spending too much time working out what was just said that you don't have time. You've just moved on to something again already. And you're like, okay, well, I guess I could just work out what they said because I didn't get what just happened.
Yeah. So Dad goes in and she goes in then, and then she is attacked by an arm that like grabs her and tries to stab at her. So she grabs a weapon and she, with the power of only her left hand, oh no, it's her bionic hand, isn't it?
It's the right one. It's a right bionic hand.
She manages to cut his hand off very, very easily, cuts through bone, which, I mean, I guess she does have a bionic hand. And then we get...
Wait, didn't she grab it with the bionic hand, though, and crush it, and then do it?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think
I still feel like it wouldn't be that easy to cut a hand off.
No.
This was my favourite moment in the whole film, because this was like Chekhov's shotgun, this was like Chekhov's bionic hand. And the arm suddenly reaches for her through the doorway and like tries to grab her, and she is almost like it becomes a superhero movie because she grabs his arm with her bionic hand.
Like Terminator style.
And claps it down. And this guy, you hear his voice off screen. She's
just crushing him, which would never be allowed to be the case with a prosthetic arm. Apparently, I can't say prosthetic, by the way. Apparently, they have like they basically have things that mean that once you get to a certain, say like you were squeezing something, it would like stop because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And also just on the prosthetics, we forgot to mention that the leg is low battery. Not that comes back to any kind of...
It's something that we feel like is going to be really important in this battle. Like, her leg is low battery.
I just really love the way it was shot because there's like a wide angle of her sneaking along and there's like a close-up of her leg low battery and she's like, it just carries on. Like, bitch, how can you not forget to charge your leg?
She was busy finding out that she is an abandoned twin from a crack-addled mother who was not sold to rich people. She had some stuff going on.
She's sleeping. I'm just saying, when she's in bed, take it off and plug it in.
She's just your average stripper with a psychic twin connection, and her leg has run out of battery. We've all been there.
It's the girl next door.
So I found the whole scene with the grabbing and the hand very difficult to see. It's very dark for atmosphere, but I feel like they could, of all the blue lights they use in this film, they could have added one there. But then we then get to one of my favourite scenes in the whole cinema because I'd seen this film before. I had seen this film before, but I had no memory of this scene. Right. We find out that the killer is her piano teacher that we saw in a 2-minute scene at the start of the film. And we get to see this beautiful shot of his now crushed, removed hand in a bowl of ice, and he, bleeding profusely out of his stump of an arm, goes to his piano and starts to play the piano. Because when there's someone in your house trying to kill you and they've just chopped off your hand, what do we do, guys?
We play the piano. At this point, I have to ask, who did you think the killer was throughout this movie, and did you go back and forth?
I went back and forth, definitely.
I, watching it the first time for this, couldn't remember. There was even bits of it, I was trying to piece it together. I was like, what is the thing? Is it that she is a twin? Like, as I was watching it, it was coming back to me. Yeah. And I could not remember who the killer was whatsoever until the scene at Jennifer's house where she tries to pull down the ribbon. I was like, young artist competition. And I was like, that's who the killer is. It took me until that point as someone who had seen it more than once.
I thought it was the boyfriend at first, kind of like not getting any, like getting his own back behaviour. Then I thought it might be the gardener because there was a little bit, obviously there was a scene with him and it's just implied that maybe she was kind of like teasing him as well.
The gardener is in 3 scenes. The killer is only in 2.
Yeah, exactly. And then I thought maybe the dad, but I never thought the piano teacher, I don't think. Ever.
I don't know if I just got lucky or whether I've seen enough crappy movies, but as soon as the piano teacher was introduced and there was like this lingering shot of his hand with like a big blue ring on it, he was introduced just long enough for Lindsay Lohan to annoy him for a spurious reason. It would but saying I'm not going to take piano lessons anymore because piano is not important to me is the kind of thing that would drive a psycho to go on a Killgrazer rampage in a bad movie, I think. So even in that one scene,
everything else is just too reasonable.
Yeah, maybe. But then
in this kind of film,
you never see him again for the whole film, which kind of implies. Well, it raises the question of why include that scene at all. Yeah. And there's no reason to have that scene in unless you're suddenly going to bring him back and be like, he was the murderer.
100%.
So I figured it was probably.
I don't think I gave the film enough credit in that sense, though, because I fully expected scenes to not have any payoff.
I feel like I gave the detectives in the film too much credit, because if you've got 3 missing girls who've all gone missing from the same town in the same area, you start to look into what's the link between them?
Yeah.
And maybe if they've all previously won the Young Artist competition and all had the same piano player, maybe that's a fucking good solid link, especially if he lives in a dungeon.
First thing you do. That is the first thing you do, is what is the connection? Like, they're all
Who is killing these girls who all won the piano competition with the same teacher who lives in a castle on like a gothic cliff edge or whatever it is next to the cemetery?
They were all in the Adobe Photoshop lesson that day when that came up. They were actually learning to write delusional on people's faces. Don't have time to check that file. But anyway, yes, so he plays some piano and then they have another fight. Do they go downstairs?
He
plays the piano and then he like smashes the piano angrily with his thumb.
Yeah, and he's like, it's implied that the reason he attacked her, like targeted her and kidnapped her, was because she didn't deserve the gift she was given. And it's kind of implied that he never maybe got to be as good as that. And he doesn't think that if these girls are going to have this talent and not use it, then they should be tortured. And then they go back downstairs and he's like, I had killed you off.
Yeah, where did you come from? I killed you. How did you come back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
How did you come back out of the grave that I put you in, which is just down the way there next to the grass verge?
Well, remember that I didn't kill you before putting you in the grave, so this is totally bizarre that you seem to have found your way out, even though I mean, he did bury her in a coffin, but just to make the point that the reason that he chopped off the limbs that he chopped off is because, like, it was all symbolism, obviously. A finger, because you have to play the piano with your fingers, and then a hand, because obviously you can't have fingers without hands. And then a leg because of the pedals. I don't even know if you call them pedals on a piano, but you know,
was that the reason?
That's what I got. Yeah, like, take away, if they're not going to use the gift, take away their opportunity to have the gift.
I think at that point I was laughing too hard.
No, I got that too. And so then they have a bit of a fight and she manages to kill him. Yay. And then she knows automatically where he buried Aubrey and she runs, and at this point the battery does run out of her leg, but it doesn't matter because she's magically in exactly the place she needs to be.
What was I watching? I don't remember that happening.
The battery pretty much goes as she's at the grave, and it's like, well, that doesn't fucking matter now.
No,
and then she digs up the grave and she finds Aubrey beautifully, like in Snow White, in a blue glass coffin.
Not in a blue dress, though.
If
surprising,
she's wearing white because she's innocent. If people are going missing in your town, maybe we talk to the man who's buying glass coffins. But we do see that he does have glass blowing equipment, so maybe he made the coffin himself.
Handcrafted, artisanal. Like, he's all grumpy because he never got the chance to use his, like, major gift of playing the piano. He's clearly a very talented glass blower and craftsman.
I would buy one of those coffins and just have it in the house. Like, it's pretty.
What, to sleep in? Just
No, I'd probably have it, like, in the corner of a room, just like maybe as a display unit.
I wouldn't want to come around your house if you've got a glass coffin in the corner of the room.
But it doesn't look like a coffin. It looks like a beautiful blue glass display unit, which maybe that's why he's pissed off. Maybe people like me are buying his coffins.
It's almost
like display things in, not bodies.
It's got an Art Nouveau vibe, which I quite liked.
So then Dakota gets Aubrey out and then they curl up together. Aubrey is in no way shocked that she's been saved, that there's an identical twin saving her.
Exactly like me. She's saving me.
And they just curl up in this forest graveyard where no one knows where they are, and the film ends.
People get cut. It's life.
That was the end of part one. A massive thank you to Daisy, as always, and to our guest Andrew for his wise knowledge. So much more of that to come in part two, releasing next Saturday, where we talk all the inspirations like Giallo films, David Lynch, and we also are going to be giving our top Lindsay Lohan films. So we hope you'll stick around and listen to that one too. Have a great day, and remember, sometimes people get cut. That's just life.